The Adventures of Brent and Lydia. I'm Brent.
And I'm Lydia. That's me. Yay!
So, if you guys haven't been following along, in our last video, I talked about the fact that I had a seizure last week, a really, really bad one. And had the privilege to go hear a brother preach a sermon this morning. Basically, it was kind of like a critiquing kind of thing. I really didn't say much because I haven't been feeling that great this morning so far.
But you're well enough to go out with me to two places.
Yeah, because you're not really asking much of me right now.
I try not to.
But anyways, yeah, so I kind of jetted out of there really quick because I felt like I was going to have another seizure. A couple of things kind of happened that kind of leads me to believe I may be having one. So I'm trying to actively remember and like do things that will prevent me from having that stuff happen in public. Things like noise canceling headphones. You know, if I had sunglasses, I would probably wear them, but it's really creepy to me when people wear them both inside and at night.
Yeah.
And one of the articles that we read about FND, that's basically what they suggested, and I was like, no, I'm not going to look like a Unabomber, sorry.
Yeah. And like, say, for example, at church, if you feel like going on in the sermon, you just step out for a minute.
Yeah.
And
so
all I do is ask if that's happening, just to let me know so I know where you are instead of the bathroom, you know.
No, I got you. So, because I'm not feeling the greatest today, Lydia didn't really want to do too much outside the house, you know, just to kind of protect me in a certain sense.
Since tomorrow is a fellowship meal and we're going to be around with people.
It really happens when, so like one of the things that I try to explain, and I hope the last two videos that I did, because we did 3 videos last week, and one of those is about my condition. I just felt like it was necessary for people to understand. But sensory overload is basically kind of what happens. But beyond that, where are we going today?
We are going to the Crunchy Depot to get milk and eggs.
We're not filming there, guys.
Yeah, that's all I need, and we're out of coffee, so Black Rifle is where we go get coffee.
I'm not going to film that either because there's not really any reason to.
Yeah, I get their vintage roast because it's actually my favorite. I like it. It's a medium roast, and we get whole bean, and I make coffee in a percolator. Yes, a metal.
Well, you know, she could do a pour over because we have that too, which tastes better.
Yes, but we have to get it. Yeah,
she never tells me to pick up coffee filters, and the way that my brain works.
It's
I'm scatterbrained, guys, like no joke. When it comes to like this condition, it kind of does that to most people that have it.
It's not that big of a deal at the end of the day. Percolator coffee works, you know. So, but I also made a bunch of food. Yay!
So yeah, why don't you tell them about what you were doing while I was gone and dazed and confused this morning?
I made a bunch of beans, black beans, this morning to be able to eat throughout the week, and then I made chili for dinner tonight, and then I made a shepherd's pie for next week to eat, and then stir-fried noodles with ground beef and mixed vegetables. I was able to take an entire pound of ground meat and turn it into 3 different meals, maybe 4 if I can take part of the chili and turn it into chili mac. So just trying to get creative.
She'll make 4. I promise you, she'll probably make 4.
Just try to, you know, get creative and try to stretch our food as best we can, because beans are a good way to stretch the meat. You mix it with things, and it really helps, you know. So like I said, I'm just trying to get creative so I can be responsible with our funds, you know.
I also want to be transparent about the recent events. We don't know still 100% because the way that these letters were worded really didn't make a whole lot of sense to either one of us, but I'm pretty sure that I was let go from the company that I was working for as a forklift operator.
They said the American Disabilities Act requires a job to try to accommodate a person with disabilities. And with Brent's disability, he's able to do certain work, like office work, for example, or even light duty, like pushing a broom or something like that. Like he's able,
or even driving, but that's still kind of an iffy thing right now.
Yeah, so he's
like I'm okay, like if Lydia is with me, you know, or I'm taking a short trip. But for me to drive a car, it's hit or miss.
The best job.
Wish I could explain that more, but I can't.
The best job for him would be like an at-home job.
And they, of course, they never advertise anything correctly when they say it.
So that's what we're still trying to find for him, an at-home type job, and so yeah. I forgot what I was gonna say.
It's okay. Hey, only one of us is allowed to do that. I'm just saying.
Oh, well, I did make more food. So tomorrow is fellowship meal at church. And so I'm making Parmesan broccoli.
Now I'm cold.
And I bought cookies at the store because I didn't feel like making a dessert. And I am making a pork roll. So, yeah. Like I said, I'm trying to use up what we have in the fridge and get creative with it, repurpose it, because there's no sense in wasting food, you know. And
so you may be wondering, what's next for me, you know, if that's the case. Well, I got a couple of things on the horizon, one of which is going to take a little bit of time to make money from. But as I probably said in the last couple of videos, I can't remember if I did say it or not, I was actually accepted into a voiceover academy, and really it just comes down to dollars and cents and how soon we can manage to get a down payment and work out the payment schedule for that. But that opens up a whole new possibility for me to be able to do that, you know, and I enjoy making content. I enjoy doing, you know, voiceover style work in podcasting, and there's money to be made, but you also have to be patient and really get trained properly. And then the one that might generate income is we haven't had the conversation yet, at least that, but I did a pilot episode, I guess is the best way to explain it. And I made some mistakes in it, but it was just for the idea. And I sent it over to Cleveland, and he actually really liked it. But, you know, I have to talk to all three of them to see if, like, that's what they're interested in. That's kind of what they shared with me over the phone last week, I think it was, or the week before. I don't remember which.
where are you going?
I don't freaking know.
You're probably going to church.
I don't know where I'm driving to, Lydia. I'm just driving. Sorry.
Will you still be able to make apple cobbler?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Yay! It's going to be for us, not church, because church gets cookies. Sorry.
So my mom had taught me how to make like fried apples years ago, and Lydia's always liked it. And recently we started making them into a cobbler. And every person that's tried it was like, Brent, you're a genius. Which is cool because, like, you know, I don't share all the gifts that I have, you know, all the time. But
pretty. Sorry,
we are in full fall season here in Tennessee, guys.
Yay!
I mean,
Lydia loves seasons.
I may not be able to do it today just because I'm still not feeling the greatest, but this week I intend on doing a ride and potentially just basically, you know, tell you guys kind of what's going on and all that type of stuff. Yes.
I know something you can do today that doesn't involve leaving our property.
What?
You can take pictures of the leaves on our property. It's so pretty. And
Like I said, if I don't do it today,
you can go out to the deck and smoke a pipe and do that too. You know you want to.
We'll see.
I'm twisting his arm to make him relax. Can you guys?
So one of the biggest parts of FND If you guys didn't watch that video on FND is functional neurological disorder. That's what I was diagnosed with. Your mood plays a huge factor. So any type of anxiety, depression, on and on the list goes, can actually have a really, really dramatic effect. Which ultimately is going to cause a seizure and muscle spasms and all that kind of fun stuff. So basically, essentially what I'm saying is that my lifestyle has dramatically changed because of this condition. And it's one of those conditions where you just have to learn to live with it. Kind of like what Lydia's been going through for the past year with her diaphragm. Basically, there is no cure at this point. Like, you just basically learn to live with it. And I'll be honest, she's better at that than I am. What are you doing? I see that. There's no off button to her, I promise. But yeah, so I do have a couple of things on the horizon as to stuff that I'm trying to do. It's gonna take, some of it's gonna take a little bit of time. But this is not a sponsored video, but I do want to tell you about what happened yesterday. Rather, Lydia can probably tell you because I didn't have the conversation, but we're in the process of trying to get disability. And recently I was watching something or reading something and found out about this organization. And you want to tell them about it a little bit? Again, this isn't sponsored.
Yeah, it's just an organization here, probably all over the United States, but here in Tennessee, they're going to help us find an attorney that specializes in SSDI and see what we're able to do to get him qualified, what paperwork is needed. And basically, it's not pro bono because their fee is basically just 25% of the first check.
Right.
And which I'm very grateful for. Because like I said, before, I'm going to be transparent. My paycheck does cover, some of the bills, but not everything. So Brent still needs to earn an income of some sort. It doesn't have to be a ton, but it needs to be enough, and
right.
I'm very grateful for that. And like, this is not to make him feel bad. This is just reality. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because he can't help it. 12 years ago, he hurt his back and wasn't able to work, but we were able to live off of my one income. And which was...
Well, times were different back in 2012 anyway.
Exactly.
Or 2013.
As much as I would love for us to be able to live off of mine, we just can't.
Oh, crap.
Oh,
not again.
Snickerdoodle fluff butt.
They have a road blocked off. I'm not sure why, but could be a bicycle race, could be...
Snickerdoodle fluff butt.
I'm gonna go this way because, yeah.
But like I said, I'm just very grateful, that God has been very good to us. I'm trying to be a steward of what God's given us, and that it includes, food, money, things that we have in the house. How can I, and
does 7th Street come out over there?
I don't know. Je ne sais pas.
Oh yeah, it does. Okay.
But is that blocked off too?
I don't know. Doesn't look like it.
It does. It looks like it's blocked off.
Ah, crap. I don't know what's going on in the city today, guys. It's Clarksville. It's hard to say.
Yeah. Sorry, but like I said, this is really not to make you feel bad. I promise.
No, it's not. It's not making me feel bad. It's just a reality, and. But because because one of my symptoms is non-epileptic seizures, obviously that's extremely concerning for most companies. So that's kind of why I'm trying to focus on content creating, voiceover acting,
stuff you can do at home,
and podcasting, like stuff I can do. Like, for instance, this show that I was just talking about, it's basically blues, I'm basically talking about blues and the history of certain albums that I have. And I record the album directly. And there's a media company that's basically going to take that and use it on a jazz, like a jazz radio station, basically. And all I'm really talking about is something that I love to talk about anyways, which is whiskey, tobacco, and blues. So,
yeah.
Tentatively, that's going to be a continuing gig for me. I don't know why that person just turned, but okay. But yeah, I'm trying to find stuff that I can continue to make money off of.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the tentative plan currently, anyway. Ow. It's like runners or something.
Oh, it was a fun run. Who likes running and why it's fun, I have no idea. But, anyway.
I know you never saw this episode of Friends, but like there was an episode with Phoebe where she started running, but she was just running like absolutely crazy. And Monica talks to her, right? And Monica's like, why do you do that? You know, why can't you just run? And Phoebe's like, well, because I like to have fun when I'm running. I don't know why that just popped into my head other than the simple fact, but yeah, at any rate, guys, like we have some stuff on the horizon, so you know that, and we have a good support group around us. That's super important. I can't stress that enough for anybody that's going through these types of conditions like what Lydia has and I have. Luckily, like this seems to be the case with us for some reason. We don't really know why. But when I'm feeling worse, she's feeling better. When she's feeling worse, I'm feeling better. But, you know.
It's God's providence.
Yeah.
That's how I see things. Yeah. But then again, being specifically a Reformed Baptist, I take peace in trials and tribulations, knowing that God is sovereign and Jesus is King. It may have not been like that a few years ago, but it is now. And I try not to let things get to me. I constantly try to remind myself, be anxious for nothing. And Psalm 23 and the Lord's Prayer, where it says, give us this day our daily bread. And I pray that, and I'm grateful that God gives us our daily bread every day. And daily bread is not just sustenance, it's not just food, but it can be a shelter. It can be like God protecting. You know, God is providing shelter for us. He's providing all of our bills to be paid, the utilities, the car payment, you know. And you have to rest in that, knowing that God will never forsake his children. He loves his children. Those that have been grafted and predestined into his grace, he will never forsake us. And it may not be how you expect God to provide, but he will always take care of you. Always.
Yeah, amen. It's hard to see sometimes, but it's always there.
But that's why whenever I start getting stressed or anxious about anything, I pull up scripture. I didn't used to pull up scripture, but now I pull up scripture and I'm like, okay, what does the Bible say? And if I believe the Bible is the Word of God, and I believe everything that's in the Bible is true and fact, and then I believe that God's promises in the Bible. So I have to remind myself of that constantly some days.
I also feel like I need to apologize to you guys a little bit. I know, like, probably in the last video, and obviously this video, you see me chewing something. It's just gum. I apologize if it's distracting. But my condition, like the spasms and the dystonia part of it, because there is a dystonia part of it, even though that's not the main condition, that's a byproduct of the condition. My jaw is in severe pain sometimes because the muscles actually pull my jaw down to the right to the point where it almost feels like it's about to dislocate. And so I discovered like chewing gum is actually helping with that. So if you see that, I apologize, but it's almost sometimes it's actually necessary.
Hey, little simple solutions like that can make your life a lot easier.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, we're gonna go get coffee and then go get eggs and milk and head home, right?
That's the tentative plan right now. I don't think I can go anywhere else today, to be honest.
That's fine. I have a bunch of cooking. I need to get the house ready for the Sabbath. That's very, as y'all know, it's very important to me to have a clean house for the Sabbath. So all the dishes put away. So all I have to do is put the dirty dishes into the dishwasher and not have to really wash a lot. But I do take out fancy dishes on the Sabbath and use fine china, literally fine china, not paper plates, and our silver utensils, because I try to make that day a little more special.
So this next statement that I'm gonna say is probably gonna be really hilarious to Lydia. Apparently, people actually like it when you chime in on videos, like out of nowhere.
Oh.
There was a video that we did recently, and Lydia kind of crept into the video. Apparently, like, a bunch of people, well, at least one person has talked about that and was like, "Hi, Lydia," which was awesome. But it seems like you guys like hearing more from her than you do me. So now I'm gonna apologize to Lydia because I haven't really been featuring her that much in the past couple of videos, but I'm gonna try this week.
It's all cool.
I'm gonna try. But there's been times to where I've tried to put her in the video and she literally looked at me and says, "Get that camera out of my face." So those days I can't really record.
Well, there's just some days I just don't feel well or don't feel pretty. So,
You're always pretty. You don't need to worry about that.
yeah, but there's some days I just don't feel it.
But yeah, as of right now, guys, we don't have a tentative plan for the week, but I am going to try to get on my bike at some point this week, weather permitting and
Health permitting. Oh, I've lost 2 pounds. Which is very difficult when you have PCOS and the medication I'm on. So, I will take it.
Speaking of medications, if you guys are wondering what type of medication that is prescribed, at least for me anyway, for FNB, one of them is basically a neurological transmission blocker. And I'll try to explain that the best I can here.
We're going to hit it all the way back? Crunchy Depot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, it helps from it basically tries to prevent or lessen the misfire in my brain that's happening. I've been on it pretty much since this has started for the most part. They did have to increase the dosage, so I believe I take about 15 milligrams of that a day, 3 times a day.
Yeah, it does help.
It's 5 milligrams 3 times a day. So I don't remember what the name of it is, guys, but it's like this, like that long.
That's a technical term too, right?
The other one is essentially a muscle relaxer, but it's a specific type of muscle relaxer. Good grief, they're busy. Some of those cars I've seen in there in a while. Then again, it's a Saturday.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a muscle relaxer that is supposed to help specifically. At times, it makes me drowsy, so I only try to take it at night before I go to bed because I still spasm and have seizures while I'm sleeping, which is obviously extremely confusing. Like, Lydia's told me a couple of really hilarious things while I'm asleep. Last night was weird. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to talk about it, but it was freaking weird what happened last night. I basically don't remember how I got into the bed, but I woke up in the bed instead of on the chair where I was sleeping at. And no recollection whatsoever of what's going on. But listen, guys, we just got to our first destination. So,
Bye.
Bye for now. We'll check in here in a while. Later, guys. So y'all remember when I said I thought I might have a seizure today? Well, I had 2 spanning. How long was it entirely?
Oh, the first one was probably about 15 minutes or so, give or take. The second one, I'm not sure. I didn't even realize you had a second one, so that was my bad. Sorry.
So probably at least like around 30 minutes of 2 seizures back to back.
So how long did it take for you to recover fully to be able to, like what you are right now? How long do you think it took?
I don't know, maybe like an hour.
Okay. But did you feel it coming on?
Sort of.
Because you were falling asleep. So you may not have realized, because you were honestly, I heard you slightly snoring out there, and then all of a sudden I look out and I see you're spasming, so I go make sure. Basically, I was performing safety measures. I was making sure he wasn't going to fall out of the hammock, things like that, he wasn't going to injure himself. That's all you really can do, is just make sure that he's not going to injure himself. And fortunately, all I can do is let him ride out. I did cry a little bit, and I did call my mom, because I just needed my mom. Because it is scary for me to see my husband go through this, but like I said, I just have to, all you can do is perform safety measures to make sure, because they're non-epileptic, so, which is good. Praise God, they're not epileptic seizures, but
Right.
Still, honestly, like I said before, that's all you can do is just perform safety measures to make sure he doesn't hurt himself. But on the good news, he was able well enough to make apples cobbler. So, yeah.
She's the reason why I'm still here. I'm extremely out of it, as you can imagine. I don't think it's right or fair to record the actual seizures for like YouTube. I really don't think it is. Because it would be like viewer discretion advised at that point. What I can do is tell you the aftermath.
When did these seizures start happening? Because there's been only fairly recently.
Well, technically speaking, they've been doing it the whole time. We just didn't call it that.
But I've noticed it's gotten progressively worse this past week.
It's probably because there's a lot of stress involved. Has everything to do with, the job situation, the insurance situation, this, that, and another thing. And that's all I can think of, really.
Yeah.
So we didn't know that it was called seizures, like legitimate. We just thought it was muscle spasms, to be completely honest, and it wasn't until my doctor basically said, "Hey, those are not epileptic seizures that you're having."
Yeah.
And of course, I did some research, and Lydia did some research, and yeah, that's what it is. I don't think my seizures look necessarily like an epileptic seizure. I don't think.
No, it looks like your body is spasming.
But it's violent, right?
It wasn't so violent as you were like biting your mouth or your tongue, which was what I was looking for. It just, because of the hammock you were in, you could have fallen out and hurt yourself even more. So that's why I was making sure, but if you're in a chair or a bed, it won't be as bad. It just looks like your body's flailing. And
for all intents and purposes.
And like I said, I try, but he's able to still talk through them. So I asked him basic questions. It took him a little bit to say them, but the reason I do that is to make sure that his brain is okay. That's what, like I said, it's safety, and to make sure that he's still cognitive. Because if he's no longer cognitive, that's when I would have to call 911. And so I just asked basic questions like your name and can you hear me? Basic, and then if he is, I leave him alone and make sure, just stand by and make sure he doesn't hurt himself. That's all.
So I will say this though, after the first one, I did black out for a couple of minutes. I think you knew that though.
Yeah, I went out there and made sure he was breathing and things like that.
I was still breathing, but I definitely blacked out for a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
But if I end up having another one today, which I pray that I don't, because I'm so exhausted, guys, you don't even know. I'm sure you can hear it in my voice and in my face. which I still want to put it like on my Instagram. I still want to put like a side by side of what happened before, like what my face looked like just literally a month before or 2 months before all of this started taking place, and then a picture now, which it's pretty surprising. Like even my barber yesterday had kind of made the comment. She's like, "Yeah, your face has changed," and it's not subtle. I'll say that. But yeah, I just figured I'd share this with you guys real quick while I still had the energy to do so.
And what are we having for dinner?
I don't remember right now, Lydia.
Chili. Chili.
Okay. Well, apparently we're having chili.
And apple cobbler with whipped cream.
By the way, all that's homemade, by the way. But yeah, what's going on with my face right now, like if you guys see my one eye, that's that pretty much happens all the time. I'm still having
sorry for the noise.
You're fine. What do you call it? It's not a seizure, but it's
I don't know what it's called.
This thing.
Spasm?
No, there's a name
Tremor?
for it. Yes, thank you.
Okay, sorry, I couldn't.
I'm still, tremors are something that happen daily, like pretty much all day. So, last night was a bit weird. For a lot of reasons, but one of the reasons is right before Lydia went to bed, my one wrist, and it actually does it. It's been doing it for a while. I just didn't realize that that's what it was, but when it like locks in that position, I don't know if you guys can see that too well, but when it's locked in that position,
T-Rex.
And they both do it, it's actually called dystonia when it happens, because basically your muscle gets locked. So even though I may not have like dystonia, that actually is part of it. Dystonia falls under the FND thing. With that being said, I just felt like it was fair to tell you guys what's going on today, because it's been rough. And I'm trying to be as transparent about this as possible, but I really don't want to put the actual seizures on YouTube, mainly because it's like my most vulnerable state, and I don't want somebody out there to be like, "Oh, well, this guy is, just looking for attention," because I know that they're out there, but I'm not doing this just for attention, guys. I promise you. I'm the last guy that ever wants any attention. Lydia can verify that. So, yeah, I'm still got a lot of brain fog, mental disconnect thing. So, I'm gonna stop talking for the day. And,
well, we're gonna eat dinner soon because it's 5 o'clock. We're gonna eat dinner soon because it's 5 o'clock. I just said we're gonna eat dinner soon because it's 5 o'clock.
Got it. Guys, I'll be honest. I'm glad that Lydia was close by for this one, because generally speaking, it happens like it's happened a couple of times when I was at the computer desk. Which, funny enough, like it wasn't a very long one, but Lydia kind of looked at me like, he's okay." I mean, it happens more than what you guys even realize when it comes to like how much this happens. But transparency is really key in a lot of these types of things. So unless Lydia has something else to add, I will try to check in maybe tomorrow. We'll see. I'm not even sure if I'm going to be able to go to church in the morning, just because of what happened earlier. Because like I've haven't, that I know of, had 2 in a row like that within like a few minutes.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But this is apparently like what it actually is. It's It's a non-epileptic seizure. And essentially it looks like flailing, but essentially it looks like a seizure, but it doesn't.
Not epileptic.
It's not epileptic, which it's kind of hard to, it's kind of hard to explain to a degree, but not.
I'm glad it's not epileptic though, because that would be worse.
Yeah. And there's more side effects to it as well, and I made a video the other day about it, so.
Not in fuss.
But there's, what are you trying to do?
Fix my medical poisoning.
You want to see something scary, guys? A woman with a multi-tool. Up to her wrist. Anyways. Yeah, so, we might check in tomorrow. We're not sure yet. I did try something today, actually, when we went into the coffee shop. I put noise canceling headphones in, and I was able to actually stay in there while Lydia was getting everything, which was pretty nice, I guess. So we're just still trying to figure all this out, guys, to be completely honest. But yeah, when I have these really intense seizures, and I've had a bunch of them. Keep in mind, I've had a bunch of them, but for whatever reason, it's gotten way worse over the past probably 2 weeks, maybe 3.
He's just progressively getting worse.
Unfortunately, that's kind of the name of the game. I really hope, my right leg spasms, with the seizure, but my left one doesn't. So I'm kind of hoping that I don't have to use a cane or lose the function of my legs because.
But his cane is pretty cool. It looks like a shillelagh.
Yeah, it used to be my grandfather's. I gave it to him as a gift, and when he passed, it was given back to me. So it's a very special cane.
If he has any cane to use, it looks like a shillelagh. It's pretty awesome, man.
They used to, when I was working at the parts store, after I busted my knee. And I was walking around with a cane. They started calling me the Godfather. It's one of those types of canes, actually. But yeah, we're just hoping that I don't lose all function of my legs because I don't want to go down that road. I've already been there once, breaking a knee. I really don't want to go down that again. You want to be humbled, guys? Go ahead and break your knee and see how life goes for you for a while.
But I gladly took care of you, and I will continue to do that.
The funniest moment with that, at least it was funny for me. It wasn't for Lydia. So Lydia had to help me go to the bathroom, clean myself. Pretty much everything for the first month, right?
Yeah.
It was about the first month.
Yeah.
And that's an injury that doesn't heal. Even though that the bones are healed, it doesn't go back to normal until at least 1.5 years. I'll be honest. It took almost 2 years for me to even get full mobility back, and I still don't even have full mobility back. But this particular story, I'll say this, and then guys, I gotta let you go because I really need to get rest up a little bit. So it was the second day, I think. Yeah, I think it was the second day, and I was getting frustrated because I wanted to get in something that was a little bit more comfortable, because I, at the time, had those pants on for almost 48 hours, and I felt gross, to be honest. So Lydia was, helping me get dressed. Well, when you have to help me get dressed, you have to take the brace off. And this is the first time that Lydia had actually seen how bad my knee was. And her eyes literally got this big around, like she had saucer eyes. She just looked at me, looked at my knee, looked at me, looked at my knee, and she goes, I don't know how to say this, but you have 2 kneecaps. And I literally looked at her, laughing somehow, and said, don't touch it, don't look at it, don't mess with it. Just get my pants on, get my brace back on, and let's go. That was probably one of the funniest moments I had with that, but yeah, I mean, we can't always take all of this stuff seriously, but this condition that I have is a serious condition, guys. They they essentially don't even really know everything about this condition. And once you get diagnosed with it, like, you can go through physical therapy, you can go through, like, psychologists and stuff like that, but all it does is basically control the symptoms, ultimately. Once you're diagnosed with it, you're diagnosed with it. So, as far as my face is concerned, it's not going to go back to normal, like what it was before. Same thing with a couple of other things, but...
I'm going to change. Get comfortable for the night.
Oh, by the way, if you guys are wondering about the sweater that Lydia is wearing...
Oh, yeah, I made this. It's really, really big and awkward, so it's only going to be worn around the house. But it's comfy.
You could wear it to church if you wanted to.
It's comfy.
Yeah, she made that, guys. I don't know how long it took her, but...
It's comfy. It's like I said, it's oversized, so...
Yeah. Alright, guys. Well, I may see you tomorrow. I'm not really sure yet, but either way, he'll see us throughout the week. So, we'll see you later.
Bye.
Hey, guys. Welcome to Friday. So, here in just a few minutes, I'm gonna take off and do some errands, but Lydia wanted to be with me because I have a bad habit on the ending segments of almost every week forgetting her. So
how can you ever forget me?
I can't, but here we are.
Really?
So yeah, I've accidentally forgot her at the end of the video a couple of times. So she was like, wait, don't leave yet. So how are we doing today, Lydia?
I'm doing good. I didn't have oxygen on until maybe 10-15 minutes ago. So, that's good.
In the words of Bill and Ted, excellent!
Yeah, Brent's doing pretty well today, too. He has yet to have a seizure, and I am so happy of that. So, and he has not had a flare today either, so that's
maybe
good.
Like a baby one, but...
But, hey, I'm taking the little ones. I'm finishing up work today, but Brent's going to record the first episode of a new thing.
Yeah, I was about to say, shh, don't tell him yet.
Of a new thing he's doing. So while he's doing that, I'm going to be making pepperoni pizza, hot wings, well, tenders or something like that. And then we'll have ice cream for dessert, and I get to find a movie. And I'm also going to start to prepare the house for the Sabbath. Since we are having friends over, I'm going to make sure the house is clean, straightened, all the usual stuff, because as you know, because I tell you this all the time, we get our house clean by 6 o'clock on Saturday, so 6 p.m. on Saturday all the way through Sunday after the evening service. We don't do any chores, or very minimal cooking, and it is a time for us to rest and relax and fellowship with the saints and focus on praising God and having fun with that, and my most favorite day of the week. So I'm very grateful. Brent is going to go pick up groceries for me.
Yep.
And get gas in the car and go pick up something else. So, which another else thing I can't tell you yet because it has to involve the next project, which I'm not allowed to say yet, so there.
I'll just say this about that next project. So, it involves something that I have probably for the last 15 years or so. I have wanted to do this ever since I was able to research this years ago. This project is going to be exactly that. And so one of the ingredients to this project now, I'll just say it that way, is in fact whiskey. So I'm actually going to go to the alcohol storage. I'm just being stupid, guys. I'm going to go down to the liquor store here while I'm out and pick up one of my standby whiskeys.
It's a Scotch, but that's okay.
Well, I mean, it's still a whiskey. It's a Scottish whiskey. I actually, most of the time, prefer probably Scotch and Irish whiskey. Mm-hmm. Not to say that I don't like bourbons, because I like bourbons too, but yeah, I can't really reveal much else after that.
But
I will just say this, by possibly our next video, I might be able to actually officially announce it, but I don't want to tell you guys prematurely because it's a really, really big deal. Really big deal. And I'm extremely excited about it. I'm very fortunate for the opportunity because, I'll be honest, it's been a huge godsend, I am, I'll just say this and then I'll catch up with you guys. I'm going to sit down here because, yeah, I have a hard time standing for any length of time in one spot now. So, where's it going with this? I don't know. Anyways,
I don't know.
yeah, I totally went blank for some reason. Anyways, yeah, this project is epic. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's very challenging for me because I'm trying to get better at these skills, and that's really all I can say about it for now. But I will say this: stay tuned, because right here on Adventures with Brent and Lydia, you're actually going to see some footage of part of that project. And that's all I'm going to reveal until we start our next video, because I think it'll be fun. But yeah, so I also didn't have a seizure yesterday. I had some movement issues late last night. I honestly thought I was going to go into a seizure when I laid down the first time, but I was able to get back up out of bed and went outside, slept on my hammock for a couple of hours, came back in, apparently cocooned myself with the blankets, which apparently I do all the time now.
Oh, yeah.
To the point where Lydia basically just laughs at me and just pulls the covers back.
Or just gives up.
Or just gives up. But yeah, so health-wise, I'm feeling okay today. But the day is still young, you know. Can I feel it? Can I feel those coming on sometimes? Yes. I will say this. I believe it was, Wednesday evening, correct?
Something like that, yeah.
I had 3 seizures back to back, fainted twice. That was, well, I'm just going to say it this way. It was kind of 30 minutes of hell for that. And, you know, I'm not using that term in a, I'm more of using that as a pop culture term, if that makes sense, guys. I'm not saying that I was experiencing the full wrath and judgment of God, is what I'm saying. It was not an easy time. And, like, one of the things that happens afterwards is, well, I don't go blank, but I have incredibly hard time speaking. I'm coherent through the whole entire seizure, which is really, really odd for most people, including myself and Lydia. I scared Lydia half to death that night. Then Lord blessed me with a couple of days of relief, which is nice. You know, I can't stop my arms and my head from moving, but I haven't necessarily had any flare-ups for the past 24 hours. So, but that could change, you know. And we can only do something when it happens. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. I'm going to probably grab the other camera here in a minute, and as the old saying goes, head on down the dusty trail. But yeah, I'm extremely blessed this week. There's been a lot of stuff actually in the past 2 weeks. Again, I haven't been able to talk about it too much yet, but you guys will definitely know when it happens, because I'm going to make a huge announcement pretty much over all of our social medias, including YouTube. So it's just really exciting. Let me give you another update before I take off here, because this is going to be easier to tell you guys in this situation than while I'm driving, okay? I believe it was, I think it was Wednesday evening or Thursday afternoon, one of the two, I don't remember which. We found out that my employer has terminated my position there, which is fine. You know, I can't do that job, you know, at this point, or any job related to that. unfortunately, one of the other issues as well is that, if I'm in any type of job outside the house and I have a seizure, well, it's not going to be good for me, and it's not going to be good for that company. So I'm also understanding that I am a high risk. But that leads me to my next project. This opportunity is an opportunity for me to be able to stay home and work from home, and a love passion of mine. And yeah. But the plus side of that situation of no longer being employed at this particular company, we knew what was going to happen, but what we didn't know if I was going to lose everything. All the benefits of working for a major corporation. Well, we were informed that, and this is good news actually, that I will have short-term disability up until December 1st. After that, my long-term disability is actually going to kick in. So I will still have income coming in to be able to, help with that situation. We didn't know if that was going to happen or not. It was an extremely stressful situation for Lydia and myself both.
Finish paperwork.
Still finishing up paperwork for it, but we're hopeful. This is a really, really big deal. Now, if there is a job that comes my way, outside of this new project that I'm doing, and it's in a environment that I feel like I can do safely, which is a big if, I will try to take that job. But I really don't have high hopes at this point, because, well, there for like 3 weeks, I want to say, I was literally having at least one, if not multiple seizures a day. Some of them were like, at the shortest end, like 5 minutes. At the longest end, which was Wednesday night, it was, Lydia counted it as one seizure. I counted it as 3 because I did faint twice. That doesn't mean I blacked out. There's a difference. I did not black out. I just fainted. I was still aware of everything that was going on around me. But I'm so disoriented afterwards, it actually causes me really, really severe, painful headaches. They're hard to describe, to be honest. It's nothing like a migraine. It's just sheer pain that I feel in my head after that. But like Lydia said, I've been doing pretty good today. It was pretty good yesterday. I'm trying to be hopeful. Guys, FND is no joke. The way that it affects your body, the way that it permanently affects your body. There's really only 2 treatments that I can try at this point to see if I can control my symptoms. Once you have it, it never goes away, guys. Same thing with most neurological disorders. They don't just magically go away. So therapy is one option, and then physical therapy is the other. Now, here's the problem with those. We will not have official insurance again until after the first of the year. So we have to go the next couple of months without insurance, which is nerve-wracking for both Lydia and I, given our health conditions. But I think Lydia is stable to where I don't really have to worry too much about that.
Well, it ends December 1st. So and new insurance will start in January. So
right.
Basically, it's only 1 month.
There you go. So basically only 1 month that we have to be without it, but we have to switch our insurance to Lydia's company, which is not necessarily a huge deal, but we're just praying that nothing catastrophic happens. And that's just where we're at with it. But yeah, so it's been pretty good. I had a really cool meeting last night pertaining to this new project that I'm talking about. They essentially said that I have full reign over whatever I want to do with it, which is like, when you're a content creator, it's a huge deal, because at that point, like, that the effort and the work that you're putting in is going to physically something. And, we're just trying to keep consistent on YouTube, for you guys that, that want to watch our channel and some of our goofy, sometimes strange, sometimes awesome videos. But yeah, so on the future, okay, I'll just say this. So you're going to see more small businesses, and you're going to start seeing more record shops, because that's kind of a series that we're doing as of late. We managed to be able to do 2 local businesses that Lydia and I really believe in, and it was great for them. It was great for us. I'm glad I was able to bring some attention to those 2 businesses. So, yeah, we're trying to do some more segments like that. We're also, like I said, I have a new segment to where once a month I'm actually going to be traveling, hopefully, Lord willing, on my motorcycle to record shops. And
so tomorrow's not going to be on your motorcycle.
No, but I'm just saying, when I do take those trips and you can't go.
That's what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Ignore me. I'm fine.
I mean, I might ride later on, but
Depends on what you have to get done tomorrow.
Yeah, because it's going to be a busy day tomorrow. But I think for both Lydia and myself. Me, because I have a lot that I have to get done or try to get done in the next 24 hours.
And we don't do any work on Sundays.
Yeah, and we're actually having some of our friends over that just had literally just had a baby recently. We haven't caught up with them in quite some time as well. So, yay, we get to be the cool uncle and aunt again. Woohoo! Cleveland told me something about CJ, his son, which I don't think we've really had CJ on the channel too much. Obviously, Cleveland and his wife, more so Cleveland, has been on the show probably more than anybody else at this point.
Besides me.
Besides Lydia. And
my name's in the title.
He's for you guys are trying to figure out the relationship that we have. He's just a straight up, like, one of my closest friends. He treats me like I'm his little brother, and it's much needed. But yeah, so he's going to be involved in this next project a little bit, and yeah, I'm just really excited, guys. I'm really excited to be able to reveal this stuff to you, but I can't do it yet. Only because nothing is set in stone yet. I'll say this: my part of it is set in stone.
Yeah, I'm about to say it isn't.
My part of it is set in stone. The other part of it that I can't really talk about yet is not set in stone yet. It's going to be really great. The fact that Lydia is just as excited, if not more excited than I am, that should tell you. And again, like, it's something that I've wanted to do for several years. I actually talked to a good friend of mine last night for a little bit, and when I told him the news, first thing that he did when my phone rang, he didn't even say hi. He said, "Hey, congratulations, man!" But I might be able to help him too. He's in a bit of a rough spot in his life right now, but we're called to being a blessing to others. Like, if the Lord blesses us, those blessings are not meant to be kept to yourself. They're meant to be shared. And any skill sets and talents that I've had over the years, I've tried to share with as many people as possible. But yeah, so on one hand, it's been a stressful couple of weeks. On the other hand, it's been just mind-blowingly awesome in various different ways. Yeah, I don't even know if because I've been talking now for almost 20 minutes. I don't think I'm actually going to take you guys with me when I run to the store, because it's, I'm not going to record inside of a liquor store unless I get their permission, which, yeah, they're not going to let me record in there. I'll just say that. And the only other places that I'm going is to pick up groceries and get gas. So, at this point, I'm basically just going to say, we'll end the video, with me just talking, and if Lydia wants to chime in at any point, she can. But the one thing, as you guys know, that I always stress about having disabilities or having health issues or just life in general, okay? You already know what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it anyways. Make sure, to the best of your abilities, you have a support group around you. Make sure that, the loved ones that you have, that support group that you have, that they, one, make sure that you stay encouraged both in all aspects. And what do I mean? I mean mentally, physically, and spiritually. That, they try to build you up. They try to, do what they can to come in and assist you where you need to be assisted at. Fortunately for Lydia and I, we do have that. And we're beyond grateful for the people that help us do that. I'm not sure if any of y'all watched my channel, but thank you for those that know who you are. So yeah, just make sure that you have a support group. Make sure that you understand that you don't fight this alone. Like, I recently started sharing videos about FND on Facebook to help people that have been asking me exactly what it was. And I feel like most of our friends and family probably have a decent understanding of what it is. It's still very tricky and hard to explain. So yeah, part of what we're trying to do is Lydia's trying to bring awareness for her situations, what the struggles that she has. I'm basically trying to bring awareness to FND and bring it more to the front. And it's okay to talk about. A lot of people that with this condition, it's extremely difficult on them because, like me, they have like mental disconnects. They have troubles with speech sometimes. The spasms are no joke. Like, there are times that like I have to laugh at myself, and like in turn it makes everybody else laugh around me, which is fine. But there's also other times that it's not fun to like be eating food, right? I'll just explain this. Like, the only certain people are able to make this joke with me, like Lydia in Cleveland, CJ, and maybe one or two other people are. I'm okay with making a joke about this, but if you're not in the know and you understand that I'm at that moment not really making fun of myself and actually get frustrated, it's actually when I eat. If I have a utensil, because I shake so bad, like it literally, it's this type of a movement. So, my head jerks this way, which is my right, your left. And so my head and my hand are going in two opposite directions. So if I have to eat with a utensil, it can be really embarrassing because everything basically just falls off the spoon or the fork. Lydia was like trying to make a comment the other night about it. I just was not in a great mood that particular day, and she was like, okay, I probably shouldn't say anything right now. It happens. I don't really take it too personally and too seriously, when people kind of pick on the fact, but it does bother you. It does play a role on your psyche a little bit. But yeah, understand that this fight, you don't have to do alone. Anybody that has FND or dystonia or any other type of neurological condition, with Lydia, she has a partially paralyzed diaphragm. That's why she has to have oxygen most of the time. And other medical conditions that we have that are not even really related to that. The one thing that we're starting to realize, and it's taken both of us a while to understand this, that none of this is horribly uncommon. Now, I would say my condition is a little bit more on the rare side because there's less than 10% of the overall population that has FND or dystonia or any type of neurological condition. And because I've already explained that, I'm not going to go in depth. If you want to learn about that, you know, I literally, I think it was last week, I did a video on FND specifically. So with that being said, you know, it's a better day today, you know. I want to actually share something with you guys, and I'll have Lydia say it because the way that she says it is actually, like, more realistic than,
What am I saying?
So, there's a statement that you always make. What do you tell me almost every morning?
Good morning?
No.
His mercies are new every morning?
Well, there's that, but you remind me that the sun's shining and it's a new day.
Oh, yeah, look, the sun's risen. He did it again.
I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but yeah.
Yeah. We have another day to serve him.
That joy that you're seeing is one of the aspects of why I keep going.
Okay.
Y'all, I'll be honest.
Well.
This little lady that's sitting right here trying to work, and I'm bugging her as she's trying to work. She's my sanity more than what y'all realize. So as some of you know, because I've done some videos of me riding my motorcycle, you know, I am a biker. So I just don't ride Harleys. I ride, you know, weird European motorcycles. Because that's just my preference. But yeah, she reminds me of that every single morning, guys. Of today's a new day. God did it again. You know, He gave us another day with breath in our lungs, and you know, and all these different things. And it is an encouragement to me. I mean, funny thing is, I kind of grump and growl and make those type of noises when I first wake up, because generally speaking, like, my body just hates me when I first wake up. But that's the type of joy we try to portray about our conditions.
Mine's genuine.
Hers is genuine, and you know, I try to be as genuine with that as well. But she's a very optimistic person. I am not.
I've always been happy-go-lucky.
Yeah, she has. But you know, and like I said, you know, I've been talking for a little over 20 minutes now, so I need to go get some stuff done. So I will see you guys in the next one. Later.